If you are a wavy or curly girl who has tried for months or even years to embrace your natural curl pattern, but every single time you do your routine, your hair just falls completely flat, listen up. Chances are you have what I call a soft hair finish and just don't realize it. But don't worry, because today is the day. Today is the day that your hair will finally turn out well, because I will be teaching you how to actually style your hair for your curls soft finish, not your curl type or your porosity. In this video, I will break down what a soft finish is, how to tell if you have it, and then I'll also create a step-by-step routine that you can follow at home that will show you exactly how to make hair that is soft, weighed down, over greasy looking, finally look bouncy. So let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Barbie. I'm a professional curl coach. I have transformed over 20,000 heads of hair through Curls Monthly, my curly hair subscription service. That's where each month subscribers get to try 5 new curly hair products. We literally ship them right to your door, and you get access to personalized curl coaching. So we will literally help you build the most perfect curl routine. So I've helped people through that, one-on-one coaching back in the day, and videos just like this. Transforming curls is truly my passion, so if you want some guidance, I'll drop the link to my curly hair subscription below. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is, what is a finish? Well, that's a great question. It's a word I literally made up, so you probably don't know what it is, and that makes a lot of sense. Your hair's finish is the natural sheen or shine or look to it once your hair is dry. Think of it as your hair's like final appearance. Does it look shiny and smooth, or does it look more dry, hard to the touch, and rough? Unlike curl type, which just describes like the shape and like twist that your curls make, or porosity, which is kind of like your damage level to your hair or just how your hair absorbs and retains moisture, finish is simply how it looks and appears to the touch. And the best part of all is you don't have to become a scientist to figure out your hair's finish, because unlike your hair's porosity, you can tell your hair's finished by just looking at your hair. So it just makes this method an overall more practical way of figuring out your hair. But then also I created this because when I was transforming these 20,000 plus heads of hair over my career, I realized that I was like giving people advice based on their porosity, but there's no way over the internet that I can tell what your porosity is. So I basically was just like, what am I looking at? Like, I really sat down and I was like, what am I actually looking at? Why am I so successful with transforming hair a lot faster? And what am I doing? And so I realized what I was looking at was not their porosity, because that's impossible. What I was looking at was their hair's, the word that I call now, finish. That sheen, that glisten or lack thereof to your hair is going to determine what your hair needs. There's basically 3 types of finish. You have soft finish, medium finish, and rough finish. Your hair can be somewhere in the middle. Like, I would consider mine as like a medium to rough. But today we're specifically focusing on that soft hair finish. I find styling for your finish so much easier than styling for your porosity or your curl type. And I really do believe that it leads to better and more accurate results. So many people get stuck trying to like decode their porosity and their curl type. And you know, honestly, in a little bit of a way, like curl type is in the eye of the beholder. There's some people who would call my hair like a 2C, and there's some people who would call my hair a 3C. I've literally had people call my hair both of those things. It's wild. Porosity is even trickier to figure out because the outside layer of your cuticle is always changing, like with damage and things like that. So like even if you could tell what your porosity is, number one, your individual strands can have different porosity. For example, like a lot of times I know for myself, like I have a lower porosity naturally, and then it becomes higher porosity towards the end of my hair strand because my hair gets damaged as time goes on, like anybody's really does. And then things like heat, chemical treatments, and product buildup will also all affect these things within your hair. And then don't even get me started on how things like the float test, you know, is so inaccurate. You cannot tell your hair's porosity by just putting it in a glass of water. You need a microscope and like a scientist. Your hair's finish, on the other hand, is way easier to see. It's in a different complete category than porosity. We're just tossing that out the window because I really don't think it is important. It also just gives you way more direct cues on what your hair needs. So then once you know your finish, you can accurately pick your products perfectly. So porosity and curl type, they are out. If you are confused by them, you are not alone. Styling for your hair's finish is your ultimate shortcut, and I'm so excited to share that with you today. So like I said, today's all about having a soft finish particularly, which is not what I have. But how can you tell if you have a soft finish to your hair? Number one teller of a soft finish hair type is having a very shiny, silky look to your hair. It probably feels shiny and silky, and it looks shiny and silky. Also might get oily faster, but you also might not. So that's not necessarily a factor, but it could definitely be a factor. A lot of times with soft finish, and this isn't all the time, but a lot of times with soft finish, it is typically a looser curl or a wave. And typically their curls don't usually start till like their eyes. And you know if you have a soft finish if once you tie your hair back, your curls completely fall flat. And I don't mean fall flat in terms of like you pulled it back so clearly it's flat. I mean like the actual ringlet or the actual wave is now straightened. Or maybe you just literally style your hair in the morning and then by the end of the day, they're flat. Soft finish 101. So if you have all of those things, you probably have a soft finish to your hair. So the goal for soft hair is to actually use products and techniques to make your hair more rough. Because the rougher it is, the more it will stay and hold its shape. So because it's so soft and shiny, a lot of times it's also heavier, which means that it loses its shape really easily. So how do you help it maintain bounce, and what does that even mean? Trying to make soft hair rougher doesn't mean changing your hair. It just means using the right products and techniques to enhance what you already have and almost like supplement what you don't have, if that makes sense. Supplementing what your hair naturally isn't able to do by itself. Soft hair really wants to stay completely away from like thick, juicy products. Anything like super moisturizing, super juicy, definitely like super deep moisturizing conditioners or like heavy duty curl creams, heavy duty gels. I actually like don't specifically love using gels at all for soft hair for the most part. Like there are exceptions to every rule, but I just feel like they a lot of times make your hair overly shiny. These types of products basically will over moisturize your curls and then weigh them down even more, which flattens them. Really, truly, like you should not be afraid of protein because protein will really help that elasticity, and that elasticity will help your hair actually hold. So protein can be inside of any type of curl product, any type of hair product. So definitely look for products with more protein in it. And if you're a Curls Monthly subscriber, it's that little heart symbol on all the little products. So look out for those. Another thing that's interesting about softer hair is I think that you actually want to apply your products to less wet hair if you want like a stronger curl. If you apply them to more wet hair, it's not wrong. It's just going to make it more of a wave and less of a curl. But the more damp your hair is, the more curly it will be, defined it will be, I think the word is. And you really want to focus on lightweight products that add roughness. So think leave-in sprays instead of curl creams, using foams or mousses instead of gels. You want to play around with like salt sprays, dry shampoos, even hairspray at the end of your routine is so good to add that roughness feeling back to your soft hair. And another thing is to not skip diffusing if you can. I know air drying is like sometimes feels easier, but diffusing is really actually so key to holding your curls in place because gravity with like the mousse and all that stuff in your hair, it's gonna weigh it down, and then the mousse will make it stay weighed down because that's its job, to make it hold in the place that it is. So your diffuser kind of acts as your freeze-ray, and it's able to actually like hold your curls in place. Okay, so moment of truth. Now I'm going to show you an actual step-by-step routine on my bestie Irene. You've seen her. You love her. Okay, so here is Irene. She looks great. One side of her hair is what like a lot of people do for their normal curl routine. So it looks honestly not even too bad, but it's a little greasy looking. We see that often, especially with soft hair, and the curl's not really there. It's kind of just weighed down, and I think that she has a lot more oomph in her. So that is why I split her hair in two. So we are going to see a exact like before and after. And on this side, I'm going to do my signature soft hair routine. So to start out, I actually did a protein treatment on her, and then I shampooed twice. So I did like kind of the conditioner before I did the shampoo, which not everyone with soft hair needs to do, but try it because it is like for the softest of hair, it is a godsend tip. So definitely try conditioning before you shampoo. And then I shampooed her twice with a sulfate containing shampoo. I know, wild, but again, this is what's going to make your soft hair actually hold its shape. So her hair right now, it does not feel soft, but that is the point. We're going to, it's not going to feel like a dry piece of hay by the time we're done because we're gonna add products that have moisture in it, but it does not feel smooth and silky right now. So that is something you wanna make sure that you're not starting out with like a smooth and silky moisturized base because you're gonna have no hope. So the second thing we're going to do is I'm actually going to scrunch any excess moisture out with my either like a microfiber towel. This is a t-shirt towel, and I'm just scrunching excess moisture. You can see like her hair is already dry in some places. Like it's kind of, she has dry frizz going on, we want it there. Then, very important, you're going to reach for a spray-based leave-in conditioner. Specifically, if it has protein, all the better, but you do not want any type of cream going on her hair. So I'm just gonna spray this on. Just a little bit. Depending on the spray leave-in conditioner, some of them are like juicier than others. This one's quite juicy. And then I'm just going to brush that through so it touches every single hair strand. This is also a really crucial step so you don't have random dry and frizzy pieces. And like I said, at this point, I'm brushing through. So you can wait to detangle your hair when you put your leave-in conditioner in, and your leave-in conditioner can almost act as like a conditioner. So typically I say to think about styling your hair in 3 sections. So section 1, 2, and 3. But because she's split in half, we're really going to do it in like kind of 2 sections. So typically I would say like side, side, back is how you want to do it. But because she's split in half, we're just going to do side, side. What you want to do is lean your head over to the side that you're about to style. And you want to make sure to lift your roots off of your scalp. So you're leaning your head and lifting your roots off of your scalp when you're doing this to make sure that your roots won't be stuck to your scalp, because that will leave you with no root volume, kind of like how she has on this side, which again is a little bit your curl pattern, but it's also some things that we can adjust. Then we are going to take Cake the Curl Friend Gel Shape Stay Gel to Foam Mousse. This is such a cool gel. It like actually, I don't know if you can see, but there's like, it's actually like jelly inside, which is really cool. It's gonna have a nice, good hold for her. It has a hold of a gel, but the volume of a mousse, which is kind of unheard of. Cake Beauty is a really popular brand, and this is a newer product of theirs. It's an all-in-one styler, so you don't actually even need a leave-in, but because I didn't use a conditioner, kind of you need one. It's a touchable, flake-free finish, so she has darker hair. You're not gonna see any white residue. It has this really cool like lemon meringue pie scent. It's vegan, cruelty-free, no parabens, sulfates, or phthalates. And it does contain chia seed extract, which I think is really cool because that will help reduce frizz, which no one wants, even when you have soft hair. Also contains coconut oil to lock in moisture. And honestly, because it has a lot of things like coconut oil and shea butter, somebody with rough curls could also use this. Like somebody like me could use this. You just want to use like a cream beforehand. But it's lightweight, so it's going to be great for our friend Irene with the soft hair. A full size, literally just like this is huge, just entered the Curls Monthly product vault. So if you're a Curls Monthly subscriber, you can try it out. And if you're not, tap the link below and come subscribe to try this out. And if you're watching this past November, you can actually now customize your mailer. So while supplies last, you can actually add this to your mailer, even if it's not the month that it is premiering. Okay, so I'm gonna take for each like section, like I said, I'm doing this in 2 sections. I'm going to glide it on using praying hands. And scrunch. And a lot of people, what they do when they hear scrunch is they'll just scrunch like up to here. But what you want to do is you want to bring it all the way to the top and scrunch. So you're bringing it all the way up to the roots, scrunching and pulsing. And then you can kind of do it again, all the way up to the roots, scrunch and pulse. And you do want your hair to kind of be like stringy. Like there's lots of strings in here. You don't want it to be too clumpy. If there are big clumps, you can kind of separate them. You want it to look a little bit stringy. Oh, this is gonna look so good. So see, I'm kind of separating any clumps that are just like a little too big. If your hair is clumping a lot, it's just too wet, so just make sure to scrunch out some extra moisture. So I'm actually gonna scrunch out a little bit of her extra moisture on this second side. I'll turn it towards you. So now I'm about to do this second side, which is basically her back. But again, I'm kind of altering it. And then I'm going to take about 2 pumps of this. Depending on your hair density, you might want to take a little bit more. I would say probably lean on the side of doing too much than too little. And I kind of am just gliding that on her hair using praying hands. And then I'm going to bring it all the way up to her roots, scrunch and pulse. All the way up to her roots, scrunch and pulse. So see, like this giant section forms. So I'm just going to kind of separate that. Honestly, and like the messier you go with like your styling, the better it's going to turn out. So like if it looks like a rat's nest, you're doing something right. Okay, it's at this point that I'm gonna spray on a little bit of salt spray. You can mess around with when in your routine you do this. You can do it before you start styling. I kind of prefer to do it after. That'll just add some grit, and then I can kind of scrunch that in. Again, when you scrunch, you go all the way up to the roots, Already it's turning out so nice and curly. And now I'm going to start diffusing her hair until it's 50% dry. And the way that you want to kind of do that is you want to start cup diffusing. I'll show you kind of what it looks like in a second, but I'm going to cup diffuse and hold it in place for 45 seconds. And just keep holding it in place for 45 seconds while cup diffusing until it's 50% dry. Okay, so we are a little more than 50% dry because she dries so fast, but let's just say she's 50% dry, she's probably like 80% dry. Now we are going to do what's called the Smasters technique. So on hopefully 50% dry hair, you are going to take more of the mousse that you used. Again, I'm using the Cake the Curl Friend Curl Shape Stay Gel to Foam. This is perfect. It's adding really nice roughness to her hair already. And at this point, I am going to pat it on. So again, I'm not smoothing it out because I don't want to smooth out these beautiful curls I just made. I'm just patting it on. You can kind of scrunch it in a little bit. And this will really add a lot more roughness to her soft hair, doing it on like this more dry hair. So again, kind of patting it on there and scrunching it in. Her ends are a little straggly because honestly, she probably needs a haircut. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more and just scrunch them in right at her ends. And once you do that, you can continue diffusing until it's 100% dry. Now she is fully dry, and I am going to, before we clap or scrunch out any of the crunch, I am going to add some hairspray to her. I find that this really helps. Don't be scared of hairspray. Hairspray will add that nice roughness. So I kind of just did her with hairspray. Make sure that dries before you move on. It dries really fast, but now I'm going to scrunch out her crunch, and I'm not going to scrunch out her crunch with an oil. Do not use an oil on this type of hair. So I'm just going to literally sit there with my bare hands and scrunch out the crunch. I might need to clap, but it's looking good. If you have to clap if the scrunch is not coming out, just go ahead and clap. Wow, wow, wow. It is such a crazy difference one side to the other. And then see, like here, like there's like a giant curl. I'm just gonna kind of like separate that with my hands a little bit. Those are those curls that when it was wet, I was trying to like separate them. Now, if you need any dry shampoo, she doesn't specifically need it right now, but I'm gonna give some to her anyway to show you how to do it. You would just lift up kind of like your top layer of hair. And there's a million ways you could use it, but one of the ways I'm gonna use it is I'm just gonna lift it up and add it here. Let it soak in. And then I will massage it in, and that will give her a lot more root volume. It'll help the style last. It also gives a lot more just like volume in general. You can add a little bit to the top, which I will do here. And then I'll massage that in. And wow, here is her final result. You can like completely see, I'm so happy that I only did one side because you can completely see that difference. Like this is her regular routine. This is what most people would do to wavy hair. And then this is what you can do to make it like curly, like the girl has curls. This is so crazy. So here is the finished result. Just look at that difference. So much bouncier, so much more defined, and this will actually stay and hold its shape. And there you have it. That is Soft Hair Finish 101. If you're looking for a great soft hair approved mousse to add to your routine, I definitely could recommend the Cake Beauty Curl Shape Stay Gel to Foam, which is available through Curls Monthly if you're a subscriber. If you have any soft hair questions, just drop them below. I know this is kind of like a new concept, so I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions. And there'll be lots more soft hair videos to come, which is so exciting. And maybe some rough hair and medium hair videos too. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.